Thank you for joining me on Mindful Reads. This is my first episode, and I'm so excited to share everything I've learned with everybody else. I created this because I haven't found a community in my area to share the books I'm reading. I am hoping that I can bring other people on to talk about some of these books. We're going to be focusing on spirituality, yoga, self-improvement, development, health, all that fun stuff. I am a yoga teacher, a health coach in training, and I am getting trained in breathwork as well. So I'm very into all this stuff, trying to embrace it more in my life, and I just wanted to share it with you all. So today we're going to be going over the 4 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. In this book, the thing that has stuck with me the most is this idea of somebody else identifying who I am. And he talks to the point of us being identified as consumers. And so we're stuck in this mindset of us needing more, and what we have is never enough. And then we reach this goal of things we've always wanted, and that still isn't enough. And being in my mid-20s, I'm compounded with information like this all the time. And I see how my friends are building their lives and how they're having all this money and all this success and all this stuff. And I know that's not how I want to identify my life as, but in some ways I'm seeing them and I'm like, wow, I wish I could do that. But to me, that's not who I am. That's not where I'm aligning. So I'm kind of having to come back to that, and I'm re-identifying who I am. I'm stepping away from that consumer mindset, stepping back, coming to myself, re-identifying with who I am. I'm not somebody who just loves yoga clothes and plants. Well, I do love plants. But I'm an individual, and I need to come to the root of that. Not around things, not around people, or what other people think of my things, or what other people think at all. So that's just my main takeaway. Would love to hear yours in the comments below. Also feel free to reach out to me in the DMs at any time. Getting into the heart of this book. So the 4 agreements, what are they? The first one is impeccability with your word. So truth. And what is that? Like, obviously you don't want to lie, but there's a lot of times that we're just lying to ourselves in general. We're not being honest with what we align with. We're not being truthful with who we are. We're doing things that don't match up. So finding that, figuring out what those things are, and coming back to who you are, coming back to what is true within you. And that is something so hard to do. As I said previously, we're stuck in these mind waves of what other people think. So maybe take a moment, sit in a meditation, journal it out. Think about it. What's your truth? Who are you? And figure that out. Also being true with your word. So when you talk to somebody, not lying. When you're talking to yourself, being truthful. Those negative self-talk words that you're hearing all the time, maybe lay back, because are those the truth? Probably not. So some points that I wanted to make is he makes a great point about pretending to be something that we are not out of fear of rejection. He brings up this point of rejection a lot, this fear of it. And I think that's something a lot of us live in, and a lot of us have built our lives around this fear of being rejected, this fear that somebody's not going to love me if I don't have this amount of money, or if I don't do this, or if I don't, your parents are going to reject you if you go a certain way in your life. And the fact is, that's just not true. And also it's not their life to live. So it's not the truth you're living. Coming back to that once again. And what else have we got here? Laws. How they make you feel safe. And how we need the courage to challenge them. So, what does that mean? thinking about it. These laws. I mean, obviously not killing anybody, that's a good law. But this law that maybe makes us feel nervous, maybe makes it feel like we can't stand up for ourselves. Where did that law come in? What is the law that says that you have to have your hair perfect every day? What is the law that says you need to be driving the best car? What is the law that says your life needs to look like everybody else's? Because it doesn't, and that doesn't make you you. So questioning that, questioning those things that you have held to be truths. And maybe that's from your parents. Maybe that means you can't eat that because you will gain weight. You can't do that because that's not who you are. But maybe that is who you are. Questioning that. Questioning everything. That's really what this book has taught me. Begin to question. Also on that topic is the idea of domestication. He so pointedly puts it that we have become domesticated. We are wild and free as children, able to live and express ourselves unafraid. And then that's broken inside of us a little, just a little by little until all that's gone. Doing that inner child work allows you to come back to that freedom that you feel, the ability to play. We lose that sometimes, and we have to come back to that inner joy that we just feel free and nothing in the world can stop us, because that's something that nobody can take away from you. So in those moments that you can just dance in the kitchen, that you can just goof around, maybe with your significant other, with your dog, your cat, a loved one, just let it go. Let yourself be free to be who you are, unafraid. So what is next? What is our second agreement? It's that we don't take anything personally. And I don't know about you, but I take a lot of things personally. I take it personally when somebody cuts me off. I take it personally when somebody has a bad day and takes it out on me. But don't. Because we're addicted to suffering. And so when we take things personally, you set yourself up for suffering for nothing. Because chances are that person really didn't think about it. They didn't think about how the impact it would have on you. And we just get stuck in this addiction of suffering. We get stuck in this addiction of letting other people dictate how our lives should feel and how we should feel about things. When in all reality, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is you. So get out of it. Get out of thinking about what everybody else does, what everybody else thinks, because that's not your life. Those aren't your values. Let that shit go. Coming to our third agreement, don't make assumptions. It's a lovely one, right? I'd love to not assume things, but my mind spirals. I would love to assume everything's going to go great, but my mind, a little talker in there that she is, loves to assume all the bad things. Like, oh, what if that doesn't work? Oh, what if I can't do that? Oh, if he can't do that, then I can't do that, then we can't do that, then I'm not going to get there. Does that even end up happening that way? No. Have I built a million reasons in my mind that it can go a million different ways? Yes. Was that a bit of a waste of time? Most definitely. Did it cause anxiety? Yes. So, what can we do to just get rid of that? we have to start coming to what is the truth. So what is the truth to me? In those moments where I'm maybe panicking about money, I have a stable job. I have a support network if things were to go wrong. I have savings. I have loved ones. I have friendships. And I have a lot of things that can't be taken from me. I have a lot of things that I'm abundant in. So maybe I'm lacking in money in one moment, but I'm abundant in so many other things. And I do have the resources to pick myself back up. Coming back to that, when we're feeling lonely and we kind of get into that spiral of I have no one, I have nothing. You do have someone. You have your coworkers. You have your boss. They depend on you. You maybe have your animal, whether it be a fish, cat, a lizard, a dog. They depend on you. They love you. You have family. You may not be in contact with them. That's totally okay. But you can come back to that. You have somebody. You have people that care. And we often forget to reach out to them. We assume nobody wants to hear it, but oftentimes our loved ones do. And they're always there and willing to help. So come back to that. Stop assuming. Come back to your truth. And our last agreement, the fourth one, your final tidbit of information that I have for you today, is to always do your best. In starting a new job recently, I have really become to identify with this one. I maybe felt like in my previous job that I wasn't doing my best, but that's also because I wasn't motivated. But by doing your best every day, you know your worth. You know your value. And some days, yes, we don't do our best, but we can make sure to do our best the next day. And you know what? Every time you come back to something after you've done your best, you're going to say, I did my best. I tried. You're never going to be left with that feeling of regret. And I hate that feeling of regret. Loathe. Working on not using the word hate. So letting go of it. How do we let go of it? Always doing our best. Everything we do, try as hard as you can. Do your best. Because then there's never that question or that doubt of did you do enough? So that's how I go about my day every day. Start it off. What can I do better today? And how can I do my best? Because then you will never fail yourself. And I just, coming back to some things that he's brought up here, you can only have this fourth agreement work well, the other three agreements work if you do your best on this fourth agreement. By doing your best on all those other things, you essentially are coming into your worth, making this fourth agreement happen. You can't always expect to be impeccable with your word, but you can always do your best to be so. You can't expect that you will never take anything personally. Just do your best to let it go. And you can't expect that you'll never make another assumption, but you can certainly try. I reworded that a bit on my own. Just took a bit of what he had, but I just thought that was really important because I think we get defeated so easily and give up so fast when something stops working or we break a routine. But remember, you can always try again. So thank you for coming today. Thank you for, if you made it all the way through, listening all the way. Again, would love to hear any of your comments. Would love for other people to come on here. Would love any book recommendations. So let me know what you've got. And I look forward to getting this going with you all. Thank you so much for listening. And I will be back next month with The Untethered Soul by Michelle Singer.